Just wanted to share some guidance around networking because I've made loads of mistakes in networking and wanted to share why you want to be asked for help, why you want to be receiving support from other people, why you want to be networking strategically, and also looking for and creating joint venture and collaboration opportunities. So what I've done is I've got 3 acronyms for my networking wisdom to pass on to you. So the first one is strategy, because actually what I see a lot of is that business owners don't have a strategy when they go network. They're booking onto this network because it means they can see other people. Hopefully somebody might want their product, and they're not really thinking about how they can help others through that, but also be strategic about the specialism that they're offering. And so it's really important to have a strategy when you're networking, because otherwise you waste a hell of a lot of time. And I know I wasted a lot of time building my network because I wasn't building it in a strategic way, because actually I was confused about what I offered and how I offered it, and therefore that confused message came across within my networking. Part of that was because I was going through difficulties in my personal life, and so I was much more confused, much more sort of desperate for money, and that then reverberated through when I was going networking. So the S of strategy is about specialism. What is your specialism? Can't stress enough that you need to have a specialism, a specialised audience for your product and services. So are you a painter decorator or only specialised in period properties? Are you a bridal hairdresser? Are you, if you're in health and wellbeing, a weight loss coach, or doing pain management, or you're the menopause therapist? Whatever it is, if you're a business coach, is it small business? Is it large business? Is it corporate business you're going after to transform? You need to be very specific about the audience that you are wanting to work with as your client base. Because the more that you are, the more that other businesses that can come alongside you and you can refer to one another can come together. When you are very much a generalist, and people generally don't want to go and see a generalist, you go to GP and they refer you on to a specialist, don't they? Yeah. You want to be a specialist, but a lot of businesses actually, when they start their business, go, well, I can help this person, I can help this, and they're so desperate to help everybody that actually they're not found because they're trying to cover too many individuals. So really homing down and getting clear and clarity yourself about who you are and what you want to offer and to whom, and that specialised audience is so important before you go networking a lot. So homing that speciality so you know what it is. And I know that's something which I've struggled with myself through the process, and finding that actually menopause was I think it's actually I had lots of difficulty through my perimenopause, my business, and the ups and downs, emotional ups and downs, and lots of bereavements as well. And that therefore my specialisms are bereavement and menopause and working with business owners, because that's the experience that I have and that's what I'm supporting people on. Okay, so it's also about looking within your business, and when you're networking, it's about teamwork. How can you work as a team to refer and support one another? So if you're going to a network, that that people in the room will be rooting for you and be looking at opportunities for you as well. Because if you're doing that for them, then they'll do that back. It's generally the etiquette. People think, well, they've helped me, of course I'll help them back. Because that's how we make friends. We want friends in business to be supporting. So teamwork and growing teamwork within your networking is massively important. Now, certain networking can be much more not as a team, if you like. So, for example, there's no membership fee to it. Anybody can turn up. You don't know who's going to be there when you get there. It's not for a specific audience. So you rock up, not know who's going to be there, and the way that it's run might not fit you. But also, if you don't know anybody, you've got to be building relationships. It can take you a lot longer as part of it. Whereas certain networks are actually people who have bought into a network. Let's say it's BNI, for example. They're spending quite a lot of money as part of that. They've got a principle of givers gain. They've got a principle of referring to each other. So people know what the principles are at the start. They know what the values are of that networking organisation, and therefore everybody's playing their part. People might find it a bit pressurised, but they're playing their part to get business for each other, to working as a team. So the more that you can get a team approach going, and that you're going to thrive together, that you're going into your networking to, support people in that way, the better, as part of it. And you might want to be aware of, are you in a, have you at least got one group that you network in where you know that you're supported, you know that you work as a team, even if you do these other less structured networks as well. The R is about responsibility and taking responsibility for your own actions, responsibility for how you come across to people when you're networking, responsibility for if you're promising something, are you actually fulfilling on that promise? So often I see people let down and disappointed because they've been told, I'll collaborate with you, and then that doesn't happen, and nobody sets the appointment up or the meeting up, or you go for a certain meeting that doesn't lead anywhere. That can massively affect your network and affect, because actually if people let me down, I can go and tell a whole load of people and say, I'll be careful with them. No, they don't do what they say they're going to do. So, and whilst I wouldn't want to say anything nasty about somebody, I will always speak the truth about how I've been treated about something, because that's just the honest approach to have. Okay, so your business reputation is really important. So you take responsibility for how your business is seen when you are networking, but also how other people see your business when you're networking, and represent your business when you're networking is really important. And because that builds your reputation of who you are. The A of strategy is about appreciation. Appreciate everything that other people do for you. Often there are aspects of networking that are done that you just don't even know that somebody's talked about you. They don't know that said you should go and work with Liz about that sort of thing. They may have offered you a venue. You might not be able to use it, but appreciate. Send them a card and say thank you. Send them a present if you think that's appropriate to do so. So that everybody that has helped you feels appreciated, feels loved because of it. Because actually, even if they don't give you anything or help you with anything for the 4 years, actually 5 years' time when you do need that help, they'll remember that card that you sent them. They'll remember that present that you sent them, or that help that you gave them as well. So the T of strategy is about tracking. Track your networking, track who you're seeing, track which groups that you're part of, whether that's online and face-to-face, track details about people that you want to make. Now, you do need to be aware of GDPR, the data protection regulations, so be careful what you're holding electronically, careful what you're holding, but anybody, if it's personal data. But ultimately, you want to track, what's working, what's not, what trends are there within your networking. Some places may work really well, some places might not. You might think, well, I shall pull back from that because that's not really paying dividends. Because especially if you're paying to go to a networking, but even if you're just paying your time, there's no point going to something if it actually doesn't give you any financial reward. Okay, or it doesn't give you opportunities to lead you to that financial reward, which keeps you profitable and successful in your business, so you can then have a personal life how you want it to be, rather stressed on. Yeah. So it's about putting the energy in to your networking as well, and your strategy. So strategize before you go into network, which groups to want to go to. And it's not about, when you go in networking, it's not about trying to recruit everybody in the room. I would say I'm business to business, so the people in the room often will become my clients, but often they become my friends first, and then they convert into clients later on, depending what they wanted to do with me, etc. as part of it. So the energy that you create around your networking and going regularly, and not just going when you haven't got any work, that you're regularly every week going to networking, being seen, being visible, supporting, helping other people. And you'll find that by putting that energy in, you'll get that energy back that will come into your business to support what you're doing as well. But also the planning of what you're doing around your network, the strategy that you have in place means that, and when you've got the specialism, you know which groups to go to. So if you're a wedding planner, then it makes sense to go to a network which is around weddings. Because actually the connections that you'll get about will be video people, photographers, or cake makers, or florists, and you can all support and help each other and be a team working together. It doesn't matter if your competitors go to it too. You can help your competitors. You can work and collaborate with your competitors as well. It's not about saying they're the enemy, because actually that'd be giving off the wrong energy, and that you always want the right energy of love behind everything, not fear. The G of strategy is about being a go-giver. Can't stress enough, the more that you give through your networking, the more that you'll actually receive back, whether that is free resources, like I've had free venues for a year, for example. I've had public speaker coaches do, bring all speakers together at my book launch. I've had all sorts of different things given to me. It's really about noticing and supporting people. I will support other people and look for opportunities for them, and likewise I'll do that for me. But if you haven't read it, the book The Go-Giver by Bob Berg and David Allen Mann, it's an absolutely fantastic book. And it talks about 5 principles about giving and being a go-giver. The first one is the law of value. So your true worth is determined by how much you give in value rather than the payment you receive. So you're giving value all the time to people, and eventually that will actually pay you dividends over a period of time. You've got the law of compensation, which is the amount of people that you serve and how many you support through that. The greater number will give you that greater wealth you need to be getting out to more people. There's the law of influence. And that's about how abundantly you put other people's interests ahead of your own. So you're not being ego-driven. You're about I'm here to serve, but not to sacrifice yourself, but here to serve other people. There's a law of authenticity, of the noticing that you're a valuable asset and that you're just giving yourself the best of yourself at all times. Not going, well, better not say anything because it's not, I'm not very good at this. No, that you're giving your best shot at everything. And finally, there's a law of receptivity, which is about being open to receive. So if you're giving to somebody else, you also need to be able to receive from somebody else. But often we close down that receiving. We might stop receiving compliments from people. We might, somebody might offer you a venue, and you're like, oh no, couldn't possibly. Or I'll try and pay for you this, or let's barter it. Actually, no, you want to go, oh, thank you for it. My God, that's great. Thank you, universe. That's the next thing that's coming your way, and that allows you to manifest. That's allowing energy to flow properly. So the final bit of strategy is the why and your strategy, getting your strategy working for you. This is about you going within, looking at who you want to work with, what opportunities you need, what resources you need, what finance you need, what support is it that you need, and then go out networking with a view to say, look, this is what I need, this is what I can help you with as well, and advertise your business, but also explicitly saying, look, if anybody can be support this, I'd really appreciate it. So that, whether that's, an old Christmas tree you're trying to get rid of, I've certainly done that with somebody, got them a Christmas tree they needed for free. One person giving it away, and it's in my network, and give it to another charity who needed it. It could be an old Christmas tree, it could be something massive that you need, but it's about having that strategy about how you're going to support and help, and how you're going to transform yourself through your networking as well. Look at whether you're really showing up and whether you're really supporting people, whether you're just showing up and just take, you're not actually giving. You've got to look within at your own personal behaviours as well. That's this, as I say, the strategy is very important. The next acronym is called Connect, and that's about how to connect yourself with other people. And firstly, the C is about communicating with passion. When you go networking, you want to be passionate about what you're doing, passionate about why you can help people, passionate about the fact that what your products are, your services, why they're the best. But remember that networking is about other people, so it's not about just talking about yourself, self. It's about being passionate when you get your turn to talk about it, and people can see you lit up like a Christmas tree, talking about that passion, but also that you're supporting people through as well. So it's not just all about you, but you do want to be passionate about and communicating passion, and in the right language for people to understand what you're passionate about. The O of Connect is about opportunity, that you need to be creating opportunities for yourself through your networking, but also creating opportunities for others. So it might be the fact you meet somebody, you think, oh, you need to meet so-and-so, because actually if you meet together, that would make a perfect collaboration of going forward, and look for those opportunities for other people. That's about where I was talking about teamwork before. It's teamwork, it's getting ambassadors, for what you do out and about within the business world, where they'll support you and find opportunities for you. So create those opportunities for yourself. If you can't do something, think, well, I don't know how to do this. Think, well, how can I do it differently? What is it that I could do to create this? You may not have the financial resource to do it, but you've got to just start putting things in place to go, well, actually, if I turn up at this network, that person might be there. If I say, and you start stating to the universe what you actually desire, aspiring, creating those opportunities, looking for opportunities to speak, for example. If you know that you want to be speaking at women's groups, then say it. If your network is saying, if anybody can connect me to women's groups, I'd really like to talk about the menopause, for example. Yeah. So the N of connect is about now and seizing the opportunity now to work with somebody. So if you're on a network, and we're on online at the moment, for most of our networks, that means that actually you've got to be proactive. You've got to be proactive in the chat on Zoom, for example. So if you hear somebody do their pitch, you think, really got to talk to you, you'll be fantastic for talking somewhere else for somebody, then you need to get into the chat and start chatting to them there and being proactive and saying, please, may I have a chat with you about what you do, because I think that actually you might be able to help me with something, or I might be able to add value to you. So that you seize the opportunity at that time, you created the opportunity. So many of the things that have happened to me is what I've created, rather than just sat on the waylays and hope that things will come to me. Because actually this is about being creative yourself, creating those opportunities. The N of connect is also about to be able to connect with one another as part of network, which is all about connections. And it's about looking within at yourself and understanding what training needs, because the N is needs, training needs you actually have. Because actually one thing you might not have realised is actually you need influencing skills. How can I influence somebody about what I'm doing to know that I'm good at what I'm doing? How can I influence somebody for them to help me? You want influencing skills. You want skills around building rapport with people, rather than putting people off by thinking you're a bit too much, maybe not, etc. You want confidence skills, work on being confident. You might have been through things personally at home, whether it be divorce, redundancy, illness, that's actually knocked your confidence. And then trying to stand up about who you are and what you're doing in business can be quite challenging. So you need confidence skills. You need sales skills. If you've never sold anything before, selling your own things is one of the hardest things you can do. Yeah, it can be easy, but you need to be able to be in that power of going, this is easy, which you may not be there yet if you've got self-worth issues. You also need to have the right mindset and training around mindset. You need to look at your behaviours as well, around whether your behaviours work with your networking. If you're, if you'll say, yeah, I'll do that thing for you, and you disappear off the network, you never connect that person, or you never send them the thing that you're going to send them, then you need to look at that behaviour, because actually that's really undermining behaviour to build your network. Because people just do not trust this person because they never do what they say they're going to do. And people tell people. That's how word of mouth works. That's how reputation gets built or unbuilt. Yeah, so be aware of that. And finally, it's about business skills as well. You may not know how to build a business. You may not know how to grow a business. You may not know how to create your business to get it working. And therefore, you need training in business to look at that. And often people have come into business without any training whatsoever. I think they can do it because actually they thought it was going to be easy, because everybody says it's great money in business, isn't it? Whereas actually it's a massive mindset shift to be in business and to feel stable in your business as well. So the E of connect is empathy, and really being empathic to the people around you. The more you build empathy with other people and be compassionate with them about what's going on, you'll find there's an awful lot of mental health issues with business owners, a lot of health issues with business owners, because it's a struggle. It can be very stressful being a business, and not knowing what's going to happen the next day can be really challenging on people's mental health, and can cause them issues. So the empathy is very important, because you want to grow friends as well. But again, you don't want to take on board other people's negative energy too. So being empathic but not taking on board the negative emotion that person might be feeling. The C of connect is about collaboration and connection. So collaborating, look for opportunities of work about how you can work together. You might have a stand where two of you can go together. You sell two different things, but they go hand in hand. You can sell each other's item. You might have, you want to connect with people, understand how to connect with them. So understanding that how you might put somebody off as part of your getting to know them. You might know somebody's really nervous and just ask them a few questions about them, to find out what they need, and that builds that connection. Because we're not wanting to sell at people within our networking, but our networking will lead to sales if you network the right way. It's all about building relationships, deep relationships, and those supportive relationships that will then transfer into sales over a period of time. Somebody who you get to know, for example, who has a big audience, but actually you might just be supporting them, liking their posts, sharing their posts for a period of time, and eventually they think they know you really well, but actually they don't. So if you then say, oh, can anybody help with this? Of course. Oh my gosh, you'd be great for my audience. And they'll you can then work together. So the collaboration comes from building those relationships. The T of Connect is about trust and building that trust. Obviously, we've got know-like trust. You've got to get to know somebody, like them, to trust them. And if you're not doing the right things through the process, because actually you haven't looked within, you haven't looked at what trainees maybe you have, you'll find that actually you put people off. People don't understand what you do. You will lose sales. You will find it much more of a struggle. So really look about how you connect with other people, because connection is one of the most important things with another person, to be sharing knowledge, sharing wisdom, sharing love, sharing friendship. That is the connection. The final acronym is GIVER, being a giver within your business networking. The G stands for give to others, and give, openly give what you've got. So if somebody asks you for something, say, of course, I can help you with that. I've got this, I'm making this connection for you, and make the time to do that. After I've been networking, I'll often be connecting people, sending information to people, etc. Because it's about giving to them. And it's also, the G could also be about gratitude as well, about that appreciating them as well. The I is influencing one and all. So through when you're turning up to your network, you want to be sharing wisdom, sharing your passion and why you're so fantastic at what you do, but not with an ego sense, but just that with a surety about that's what you are, because you'll be influencing people through what you're saying and how you're saying it. So even if they don't work with you, they may go, you know what, I know this coach knows her stuff. Now you want to maybe go and work with Liz. Yeah. The V is about value everyone. Just because you don't get on with somebody at a network doesn't mean they're not valuable. Just because you don't understand their product doesn't mean they're not valuable. That person that you are not valuing may actually have the managing director of the biggest company ever that you want to get into. So value everybody, support everybody. It's a journey being in business. And as I say, you never know who knows somebody who might be needing your help. Or giving you that wisdom to get into a place we've been trying to for ages. Yeah. The E of giver is about enjoy helping others and make it a pleasure. It's a joy to support and see people grow, because actually the more that you are looking at other people's success, celebrating other people's success, really getting that energy of what's going on for them, that's law of attraction come back for you, because you're excited about them. You've not got a judgment about, oh, why is that not me yet? Oh, I've not got to that point yet. It's very much about, wow, well done them for getting that. Whenever I hear online somebody's won money, I go, oh, well done them. That's fantastic for them, because I'm really happy they take the action to enter the competition or whatever it is as part of it. The final thing, and I want to really stress this point of the giver, the R element, is revenue build for others. Okay, one thing I see time and time again at networking is often people, they're just playing at it. They're like going, oh, this is nice, oh yes, we could do this and we could do that, and there's no real substance behind it. They're not really looking for business for other people, because sometimes you have the hobbyists, people who are just like bored and just their hobby pays them, they've got a full-time job, they don't have to worry financially, but you've got hardcore people who are in business, like myself, who actually need those opportunities to come to them. They need the support. The money isn't coming from another source, to us. So we need people who are with us to be looking for business for us. To be going, yeah, what do you need, Liz? Yeah, okay. Oh, I know 5 other people who might like to do that training. I'll get in touch with them, and I'll find out whether they'd like to come to a party we can talk to them about it. So revenue build for others. Whenever you are going networking, look for opportunities for others. Look for how you can make money for other people. When you find business for others, they'll eventually feel, I really need to support back. It goes both ways. It might happen instantly. They might not know how to do it, because you have to be really clear about what you offer. Can't stress that enough. That goes back to right at the start of this video when I was talking about specialism. That when you are clear about what you offer in your products and your services, and you make sure other people know what that is, they may not instantly be able to help you, but after a period of time, or they see an opportunity for you, they'll be able to come back to you and say, you need to speak to this person. I can see how you two could work together. So I hope you found that useful. Networking is a fabulous tool for your business and to grow your business. So really go for it and enjoy your business and networking.